Hello. In this video I'm going to walk through some of the steps in exercise 13 from the HA400, create a HANA transport container for a delivery unit. You might remember, if you've seen one of the earlier videos in the learning room, that I created a content package called HA400_20 and I've also created a delivery unit. Now, I haven't linked those together yet. If you watched the earlier recording, we talked about the fact that we could assign them and link them together as soon as we create them. But I'm going to do that now. Now, first of all, my content package is actually empty right now. So I'm just going to create a dummy view in there. I'm going to do that just by right-clicking. And we'll just create an attribute view. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to copy from an existing view. I just want to make sure that there is something inside the content package in question. And so here is an attribute view which I can copy for the purposes of this demonstration. And so all I'm going to do, I'm not going to change it at all, I'm just going to activate it. So now in my content package, HA400_20, we do have some content. We have a view. It's just being a little bit slow to activate, but hopefully that will catch up with us in just a moment. Now, whilst we're just waiting for that to finish, it looks like that's been done now. We can see the little grey diamond has disappeared, so that tells us that it is now active. If I jump back to the quick launch view then, you might recall from the earlier video the delivery unit that I created. It's this one here called HA400_20, and right now I haven't any packages assigned to it. We could have done it earlier on, but I'm going to do it now. And I want to assign the package which I've just created the view inside to the delivery unit. Okay, so that's a very simple task. We'll now close that down. Now let's pretend that I've now built an ABAP application which consumes the attribute view ATHA420 which I've just created. And what I'd like to make sure is that when my ABAP application is transported up through the system landscape, that the HANA attribute view, which it refers to, which it consumes, also is going to be available in the production environment. So to do that, I'm going to create something called a HANA transport container. And this is an ABAP repository object which links a delivery unit containing the content packages with the HANA artifacts inside them to an ABAP transport request. Now, a HANA transport container can only be created in ABAP development tools. It's not something that can be created in the ABAP workbench, so I'm just going to switch to the ABAP perspective here, and only in this environment can I create the HANA transport container. Now, to do that, if we create a new ABAP repository object, your HANA transport container is buried down under the Others folder here at the bottom. And here it is. And now I'm going to be asked to provide a little bit of information. Now, the first thing I want to make clear, you can see there's a field here for package. This is an ABAP package because a HANA transport container is an ABAP repository object. So like every other ABAP repository object, if you were to create an ABAP program, an ABAP class, an ABAP function module, you would be assigning it to an ABAP package. I have to do the same thing here. Do not confuse this with the HANA content packages. How do I make the link to the HANA content package in the view that I've created? It's through the delivery unit which the HANA content package has been assigned to. And that's what I need to provide here. Now notice there's no input help, but if I use the Control Space key on my keyboard, this is where I can now choose the HANA delivery unit which I want to assign to the HANA transport container. And here is the one which you've just seen me working with. So now we can move on to the next step. Okay, so notice this is where the assignment to the transport request is done. And here's the transport request, the ABAP transport request, which my HANA transport container is going to be assigned to. Okay, so all looks to have gone well there. Now, remember what we've just created is an ABAP repository object. And what do we have to do when we create ABAP programs, ABAP classes? We have to activate them. Well, the same thing is necessary here. I have to activate the HANA transport container. You can see that currently it is inactive. And until it is active, I wouldn't be able to release the transport request which I've assigned it to. Just like any other ABAP repository object, it must be active for the transport request to be released. Now, another important thing to bear in mind when you are working with HANA transport containers, if the HANA view, which belongs to the content package, which is assigned to the delivery unit attached to this HANA transport container, if it was changed, it doesn't mean that the new version of the HANA view would be transported. So what's important is if any changes are made to the HANA objects which are linked to the HANA transport container, it is necessary to take a new snapshot. This makes sure that the most up-to-date version is going to be transported. And this is done using this link here. So it could always be a good idea to just click this link and take the snapshot before the ABAP transport request is released. And this way we guarantee that the most up-to-date versions of the HANA objects are going to be transported. Notice though that when we do take that snapshot, the HANA transport container goes back to an inactive state, so I must remember to activate it again and prior to releasing the ABAP transport request.